And an early missionary who spread Buddhism was Ashoka, pictured here. He spread Buddhism from India to China and other parts of Asia. And you might have learned about Ashoka, the elephant warrior, in World History 1. From Buddhism to Islam. The founder of Islam was the Prophet Muhammad, pictured here. The date Islam started was 622. Its founding location was in modern-day Saudi Arabia, as you see pictured here in red, northeast of Africa in the Middle East. Characteristics of Islam. Islam is a monotheistic religion. Muslims practice the belief of only one God. The holy book in Islam is called the Quran. And what are the rules of Islam? Well, they are found in the idea of the 5 pillars, 5 ways of being a good, true Muslim. Muslims Muslims call their God Allah, and there are 1.3 billion people in the world who practice Islam, who are Muslims. Moving on to Judaism. The founder of this religion is Abraham. You see him pictured here. Judaism started in 1300 BC, before the birth of Christ. And the founding location of Judaism is in modern-day Israel, in the Middle East, north of Africa, northeast of Saudi Arabia. What are some of the characteristics of Judaism? First, it's monotheistic. Also, its holy book is called the Torah. The rules of Judaism are found in the 10 Commandments, just like in Christianity. Jews call their God Yahweh, and there are 14 million Jews in the world. Christianity, another monotheistic religion. The founder of Christianity is Jesus. It started in the year 27 during the life and times of Jesus. And the founding location of Christianity is also in Israel. The characteristics of Christianity. It is a monotheistic religion. The holy book is the Bible. The Bible is a combination of the Jewish Torah and the New Testament, the life and times of Jesus Christ. Christians follow the 10 Commandments, rules to live by, a moral code to live by. Christians believe that Jesus is the Son of God and that he has divine powers. And Christianity is the most practiced religion in the world. There are 2.1 billion people who say they are Christians. Christianity started with one church and has since splintered off and branched out to include many different denominations or kinds of Christianity. So here's a tree of the church. The early Christian church you see here was divided to the Western Church, the Church of Rome, which housed the Catholic Church, and the Eastern Church, the Church of Constantinople. And during the Renaissance, the church starts to divide. But the early church was dominated by Catholicism, the Catholic Church. What is Catholicism? It's a kind of Christianity that has a man called the Pope at its head. And Catholics believe that the Pope is linked to God. Catholics also must go through sacraments. And Catholicism is known for its traditions. You see here a bishop in the Catholic Church with his ceremonial hat, one of the traditions. Pope Alexander VI, an early pope of the Catholic Church, a leader of the Catholic Church during the Renaissance. This man is a symbol of all that was corrupt and wrong with the Catholic Church during the Renaissance. Popes are not supposed to marry or have children. He did. He even has mistresses that we know about. Popes are not supposed to collect bribes. He did. Popes are not supposed to plan the murder of people. There are some historical records that show he may have been involved in poisoning political enemies. So Pope Alexander VI was an example of what was wrong with the Catholic Church and needed fixing. Here's a list of the corruption of the Catholic Church during the Renaissance that Pope Alexander was guilty of. Nepotism, giving jobs to family unfairly without hearing other candidates. Sexual misconduct, Alexander was guilty of that. Usury, handing out loans that took advantage of the poor. Alexander was guilty of that. And lastly, indulgences, charging money to receive the church's forgiveness. Taking advantage of people so that the church gains money. What I want to show you now is a somewhat humorous clip from a series called The Horrible Histories, and it shows you an example of indulgences, how the church took poor members' money. So here we go.
In the Middle Ages, there were simpler ways to be pardoned for your sins.
Have you been naughty? Worried that you might not go to heaven? That you might be stuck in purgatory for thousands of years? Well, help is at hand. If you want a fast, easy way to get back in the good books, our team of professional pardoners are just waiting to help you here at Cash My Sin. After just one consultation, our staff will be able to tell you how naughty you've been and how much money you have to pay the church to buy your pardon.
I stole this apple from my lordship's apple trade. Thanks to Cash My Sin, it cost me just 3 pennies to buy my forgiveness.
Getting pardoned in the Middle Ages is easier than you think. Our prices are simple to understand and very reasonable.
I'm really jealous of my neighbour's horse. It's much better than mine.
That is the sin of envy. 2 pence, please. You are forgiven.
You see my new shoes? They're great, aren't they?
That is the sin of pride. Another 2 pence, please.
I don't have any more money. All right, I lied.
3 pence.
What?
And that's another 2 pence. Anger is a sin as well. Just 1 shilling covers a multitude of sins.
Great.
It's easy. It's great value. And what's more, it means you won't burn in the fires of hell for all eternity. It's got to be worth it.
My chances of heaven were looking thin till I gave lots of cash to Cash My Sin.
Hurry, offer must end by the early 1500s.
That was an example of indulgences, charging money to receive the church's forgiveness, as you saw. Thank you, Horrible Histories, for making that fun. Now, we link this back to the Renaissance. Now, we're going to link the corruption of the church to the Renaissance. Erasmus, a Renaissance philosopher, he was an early critic of the Catholic Church. Let's look at what he wrote about the Catholic Church. This is from the Life and Letters of Erasmus. Quote, "The aim of the monks and the popes is not to benefit men's souls, but to gather harvests out of their purses, learn their secrets, and rule their houses. The religious orders nowadays care only for money and sensuality. The tables of priests run